All right, keeping you updated on the caravan right now that's at the Tijuana-San Diego border. There have been 11 arrests associated with caravan members who were trying to illegally enter in this country, we are told. And the breakdown goes something like this. 2 Salvadorans, 6 Hondurans, 2 Guatemalans, a Mexican national, facing charges, according to federal complaints, that they were pretending to be seeking asylum here. That is a concern that we have. Everyone who comes in here seeking asylum has the right to have their case heard, not necessarily the right to be granted that asylum. Very few are, in percentage terms. To the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, what he makes of all of this. General, I don't know all the details on these individuals who were cited, but it does support an argument that some have had that you got to be real careful checking out people who claim asylum. But what are the rules, for example, in Texas along the border, people claiming similar such arguments?
So really the rules are the same across the nation because it's a federal issue. So the asylum issue, they have to demonstrate that they've suffered some type of persecution. They have to be in a protected class, race, religion, national origin, social group, or political group. And then second, they have to demonstrate that the government is part of that persecution, or if they're not part of the persecution, they are at least not stopping the persecution. So everyone coming in that asks for asylum, whether they're coming in Texas or California, has to demonstrate those three to the federal government.
All right, so it can't be a matter of just domestic abuse if someone's spouse is abusing them or anything. That is, alone can't do it, right? So it has to be what I think the government calls a credible fear case. Now, we had 5,000 such cases back in 2007, but last year, 80,000. So obviously, a lot of people have latched on to the asylum thing or the credible fear thing. What's going on?
Well, I think these immigration groups, I mean, they've figured it out. They know what the law is. They coach these people on asylum. It's certainly a faster, quicker way of getting in the country than waiting your turn by just requesting through the normal immigration process. So I think that's what's going on here. You have immigration groups and lawyers that have figured this out, and they're taking advantage of it.
You know, I do wonder, though, if it hurts things for those who are not trying to take advantage of it, who do have a legitimate case and yet don't have necessarily all the paperwork to prove their case. So, you know, you're an attorney general, you're pretty good at this stuff. How do you separate those who have a real asylum issue with those who are using that but faking that as an issue?
Well, you bring up a very interesting point, I think a difficult point for people that are trying to find out what the truth is, especially when these people may be coached by lawyers. It makes it very challenging for federal officials to figure out what's legitimate and who is actually supposed to be covered under this asylum requirement. So, you know, it's going to be hard because who knows who's telling the truth. Certainly this was created by Congress for a reason, to protect people that are in difficult circumstances or are being persecuted. But, you know, if you're coached the right way, you may come in here and tell a story.
Or you may not, right? Attorney General, thank you very, very much. Very good seeing you again.